Over the years, I've posted a lot of videos about some of the cool gadgets, robots, and electronic components that I've built. And in the process, I say the word solder. And because the internet is the internet, I get corrected all the time and made fun of for pronouncing it as solder. So here is a fun lesson as to why different parts of the world pronounce it differently. Specifically, why, let's say, in Ireland and the UK, we pronounce it with the L, and the Americans pronounce it as solder. The original word did sound a bit more like the word solder. It originally came from the French word souder, and it means to fuse two metals together, solder. And of course, we know our history as the Americas were beginning to be colonized, and they continued to use the term solder. However, after some time passed, the English then changed the pronunciation of the word. Instead, going back to the root of the French word into the Latin word solidare, which directly just means to make something solid. I like this story because usually a lot of the English tends to be warped because as nations split, accents and culture develop separately and they create their own versions. But in reality, what happened was that in the States, they kept the original pronunciation while it was the British English that evolved in this case. And so as a person in Ireland, I say the word solder. I'm not saying it incorrectly. There is absolutely no need to send me death threats over this. How does soldering actually work? If you're into electronic components, you make temporary connections, but eventually if you're going to build an actual robot or something that is a bit more permanent, you're going to have to solder components together. More than likely wires and resistors and such. The basic principle behind it is straightforward. You are melting a metal, making it liquid. It's a sticky substance and it sticks onto other stuff, especially if it's heated, or you give it a little bit of support with some flux. You immediately take the heat away and it solidifies very quickly. Getting that temperature is extremely important. If it's too cold, it won't melt and it won't actually create a good connection at all. If it's too hot, you'll actually damage the components. And in fact, it's usually a balancing point because some components need a really high temperature point while others not so much. And you have to sacrifice some stuff sometimes. The solder material nowadays is mostly tin with some other mixtures. We tend to avoid lead these days because, well, we understand that lead isn't very good for us these days. That being said, with my many years of experience in soldering, lead does solder extremely well. It is a lot more difficult to work with tin. Choosing the material is very important because other than soldering extremely well, it also needs to have a good conductive connection. We call this an intermetallic joint. We want to wet the surface so that when we do melt the tin, the solder material that we're trying to deposit, that it goes smoothly over the material that we wish to solder it to. But sometimes that intermetallic bond is very difficult to make it happen. It first of all depends on the solder material and the material you're trying to connect to, usually tin to copper. One of the most difficult things between those two things is the fact that an oxide layer is created. And that oxide layer is the thing that causes that joint to be weak or not even to make a good connection. To avoid that, we use something called flux. And I seem to have misplaced my one. The idea behind it is usually it's advertised to help you solder, but it doesn't actually say what it does. It's a cleaning agent. It allows that oxide level not to form, and so you can get that intermetallic bond formed really well. This happens as copper 3SN or Cu3SN5. This is a common practice in many fields of science, especially material science. In my own experience during my master research, something that I used to do is I used to study the electrochemical deposition of copper and gold. That's a completely different story. One of the things I needed to do was have a glass cantilever because I wanted something to bend. I deposited gold onto it, and on top of that, I analyzed the copper. However, gold doesn't stick to copper, and so you get titanium so that it can stick to the glass and also stick to the gold. You use it as an intermediate source to make it happen. In battery technologies, a lot of your electrodes immersed in the electrolyte that is used in battery technology isn't going to be nice. You tend to use a graphite sheet, usually placed in between copper and a carbon plate, to get into all those nooks and crannies so they have very good conductive contact. There are a lot of affordable soldering stations. Here is a demonstration of one that I own. I'm not sponsored by this company, it's just the cheapest thing I was able to buy. This is the soldering iron part. This is the tip. This is the very hot part. You can get different types of tips depending on what connection is needed, or more so what kind of wedge you need to get yourself into. You have a temperature control. So at the moment it's set 310 degrees Celsius, but I can decrease down or increase. Additional parts also include crocodile clips to handle different components. Sometimes even a magnifying glass. If you have the budget, they're really handy things to use. I'm just cheap. I think one of the most satisfying things about soldering is when you have a wire embedded into a circular metallic connection and the solder does that effect. It's also important to remember that not only do you want to melt the solder, you also want to heat up the contact as well. Because if it's too cold, it's not going to stick to it. And of course, you can provide flux to it to aid and ensure that there's no oxidation in the process. I hope you enjoy your soldering adventures, and please don't hate me for the way I pronounce the word. Happy soldering. Hello, testing, testing. Hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hi, Labrats. I hope you're having a wonderful Valentine's Day. I was gonna do happy birthday kind of thing by, what's her name? Monroe, but that's not the right theme at all. Hello, Morgan, welcome in. Hello, Ray God. Hey, folks. Pooja, Ray. Ray God again. Yuli, Harry, and Laz, by the way. Freaking congrats on getting an interview for Princeton. And I don't mean to take away from your win, but just freaking getting an interview is amazing. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't get it, it's fine. But the fact that you got an interview with Princeton, that's holy smokes. Amazing. Well done. Congratulations. Hello, Dr. Hubs, Quantum Cheeks. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. I hope we're excited for a productive Saturday. I started a bit late. In my defense, I was recording a YouTube video. I don't know why that's a defense. That's not what a defense is, Tofu. But yeah, anyways, I was recording a YouTube video. It's freaking freezing. It's really, really cold in Ireland. We're going through a cold spurt at the moment. Happy totally not a made-up holiday for commercialization reasons. I don't even know if it really is, huh? Is it? I'm traversing a robot a few What do you mean you're traversing a robot? No, that's Sweetest Day, is it? Oh. Engrobotic, welcome in, welcome in. We're doing good. We have coffee. It's halfway done, but we're still going to drink coffee. It's still warm. Have a bottle of water to keep us going. We're still a little bit sick, but we're no fever. So I don't count this as being sick anymore. Once your fever's gone and it's just like, you know, your throat is a bit meh and you're a bit, you know, everything else is fine. So life is good. I'm finally better. Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, I suppose, at work were really tough the first 3 days. It just happens to be as well my schedule, just my lecturing hours. I have crazy schedule Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I have very little break, especially on Tuesday. I only have 1 hour off. So yeah, I need to be careful with my voice. I hope it'll be okay, because like it's a big job to talk and talk loudly for 7-8 hours a day, you know? Lecturing is a bit weird. I work with robots on a solar farm. How else are they supposed to get from one end of the site to another? That's still really cool. What is that monstrosity on the whiteboard? So I recorded a YouTube video. So this is a little teaser of the next YouTube video that's coming out. I need to edit it. But it's this historic discussion of the development of PV is equal to nRT and PV is equal to NKBT. Because chemists and physicists tend to snap at each other because of this. But joke's on the chemists, both of these are physics equations, or at least that's where they came from originally. All from physicists, all developed by physicists, both are physics equations. Suck on that. Okay, sorry, that came off a bit aggressive. No, I'm only messing. Well, no, I'm not, actually. What I said was factually correct, but the teasing was only joking. Hi, SD, welcome in. Nice little cameo for the bathroom, is it? So that is a little prequel of what we're going to, a little, what's the word? Thing I'm going to do. I just realized that my bitrate is crazy. I am streaming on Twitch right now at 13,000 kbps when I used to cap it at 6. I messed around with my settings because I'm dual streaming. Did I uncap it? Did I do enhanced broadcasting accidentally? My settings real. Oh, I did. I pressed enhanced broadcasting. Okay. Let me know, chat, how Twitch goes. For the first time in history, I've clicked on the enhanced broadcasting, so let me know if there's any issues. Hi, Jimmy. Yeah, look. I kind of wanted to watch the rugby, but also I have very little streaming days already as it is. I stream very very little, so yeah. I want to stream, despite the fact that I'd love to watch rugby. I'll keep an eye on the score. I might open the game on mute on my phone, if I can get it working. I might just watch. Because it'll be very embarrassing if Ireland lose, though. Yeah, updates will be great. Thank you, chat. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hi, Wybal Kansi. Welcome in, welcome in. So far, so good on my end, yes. Even if Ireland are 28-0. Listen, if Ireland go down 28-0, I'm going to cancel stream and never stream again. I will be ashamed to be Irish. We go down 28-0. Oh, Jesus. Oh, lads. Oh. Oh, well, it is what it is. It is what it is. Today is a day for science. Today is a day for mankind, for Labrat kind. Where we push science and physics and technology. Because I have been thinking about how to improve this, and I have an idea. I'm actually going to remove the graph function that we were thinking about doing, and the reason is because it's quite impractical. A graph doesn't really tell us, unfortunately, anything. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to calculate a delta T value, and I'm also going to get a second monitor or a second display and show in Celsius. You might argue with me and say, Tofu, you're showing it in Celsius and Kelvin, you might as well show it in Fahrenheit. I absolutely will not stoop to the point of showing my temperature in Fahrenheit. Cheers. This is my mug, by the way. All right. Are we ready to... I mean, if you guys are okay with it, we might just go straight into building and constructing and designing. There's nothing holding us back today. Is there? Nah, there isn't. What I might do is I was going to be cheeky and have a biscuit. And then I thought, no. And then I thought, fuck that. I'm going to go grab myself a biscuit. Be right back. Happy. I'm too lazy to go up the stairs after her. If she's not going to grab the blueberry, I'll just leave it there for her. Greetings, currently invisible Tofu. Hi, Kip. Hope you're keeping well. Hi, Rex. Welcome in, welcome in. I hope you're keeping well.
Just be assured. It's not red. It's like blood orange. It's quite bright orange, but it comes off on stream really red, doesn't it? It's really orange though. The camera's not capturing it correctly. So I'm not going on any away mission. My cooking. 5-second rule. The germs are very polite in Ireland. They always wait 5 seconds. Hi Leo, did you change your name by any chance? Exactly, Rex. Hi Nada, welcome in. Hi Hacks. Hello, hello. 30 stream streak, let's go Ebendrail. How are you, Herder? I did the No Man's Sky expedition last night, and this morning was different. Oh yeah? As in you stayed up all night? I downloaded the new No Man's Sky expansion, but I haven't played it yet. I found the area. The problem is that I actually haven't done much missions on my not exosuits, exocrafts, I think it's called. Yeah, I haven't explored it too much. What I found was I've accidentally done this thing. Where I forgot about all my quests and missions in No Man's Sky, and I just started just building and doing, you know, the daily missions and stuff like that. And I got to the point where, oh shit, I forgot about actual quests and stuff. And I've gone back to doing quests, and it turns out that everything that I've unlocked already, I was meant to unlock passively by doing the... Yeah, so now I've screwed up everything a little bit in my No Man's Sky playthrough, but it's fine. It's great fun. I think it's a universal experience, maybe. How can you remember everything in physics? Asked Brian. Welcome in, welcome in. I don't remember everything in physics. In fact, I'm notoriously bad for disremembering things. That's a bad word. What I'd like to say is in the last 4 years or so, during the end of my PhD and now, I am more than ever more confident about what I know and what I don't know. Nothing I ever do is learning off anymore. I understand things. So even if I forget experiments and forget names and forget definitions, I know conceptually and instinctually things, to the point that if you give me enough time, even with no internet, I will figure things out. You just need to give me time. So I never actually remember anything, if that makes sense. I now can figure things out. That's why I hate quantum, because that's a pain in the ass. But everything else in classical physics, I can figure it out. Give me enough time. Hi, Lind. Привет. Nukenade. Hello, Corby. Welcome in. Infamous for forgetting things. Yeah, like I forget physicists' names. I forget names of laws, names of experiments. And I get kind of made fun of even sometimes about it. Some people will point out, it's like, how, like, you've been teaching physics for how many years now? 8, I think, officially. And people say, like, aren't you embarrassed that you don't remember this guy's name? It's like, no, I don't. I'm not embarrassed about it. I've accepted that I have very bad memory, and that's fine. Can you also navigate using the stars and communicate using Morse code? No, but I'm happy you mentioned Morse code, because I'm thinking about a project. I need to come up with new projects because we have so many students. And I think I came up with an analog project by getting a buzzer to display Morse code. I need to brainstorm it though. I need to maybe look at the circuit. Yeah, it might be hard though. Got distracted there. Oh, but Morse code, not the same thing, but it reminded me something. I started watching a TV show. Okay, 2 things. I finished Firefly and Serenity. I never finished Firefly before. Loved it. Honestly, it was so bad. Okay. I'm going to piss off a lot of people here in the chat. Bear with me. Firefly was really well written. It was actually quite well written for its time. And the actors did a great job. The acting was great, everything was great, everything. But clearly the budget was a disaster. The plan, the vision, the execution, there was something really, really wrong. They recycled too many things. The plot, the episodal plots were weak. And then obviously there was broadcasting issues and all these, issues. And I'm glad that they released Serenity to kind of clean everything up. But God, Serenity broke my heart more than ever before now after finishing Firefly. Overall, I thought that they had great vision. Like, Firefly could have been a really good TV series. But I think the budget was clearly an issue. I actually have already a post about Ronak. I've done that and it's on my social media if you want to teach it for yourself. I think Fox tried very hard to destroy Firefly pretty much from the get-go. Yeah, I heard that they did a lot of things, unfortunately. Anyways, that being said, I finished Firefly. Great, all the good stuff. I've expressed my opinion. But do you know what I started watching? Some of you guys recommended it, and a few people did. Pluribus? I always forget the word. That one. We've watched a few episodes of it. I don't know how I feel about it yet. Please, no spoilers. But yeah, it's peculiar. Very interesting thus far. Yeah. I want to see how it goes. But that's the sci-fi one thing I'm watching at the moment. Keep watching. It's very, very good. I hope so. I hope so. It's not too much of a commitment, if it's the first season or, yeah, we'll see. Rhea Seehorn is excellent. Is that the main actress? Am I terrible to say that I find her very annoying sometimes? I think it's meant to be. Yeah, but yeah. The plot sinks. I think a lot of the cult classic sci-fis from that time were under budget. Yeah, I think so. Like, I really watching Firefly, the TV series. It's not even that. Yeah, the budget of the episodes was quite poor, if that makes sense. Oh, Ray Seahorn. Okay. Hi, Netlag, Slay, welcome in everyone. Hello, chat. Hope you guys are keeping well. So, a couple of things to keep an eye on Twitch. So we're trying dual streaming for the first time in a long time. And I've accidentally clicked enhance broadcasting at the same time on Twitch. So shout at me if my Twitch goes crazy. Keep me updated. I don't know what enhanced broadcasting means. Thanks a million for the follows, by the way. Some amazing usernames. I love the nerdy usernames. Hacks, there's something to sale on the internet, but we can't say it legally on... Hi, Jay. Welcome in, welcome in. Will we get coding? Will we get programming? How are you keeping? Are you getting a little bit better, Jay? Have some water. Gotta stay hydrated. Have many things to do because I want to get loads of stuff done for this project. So I had an epiphany. It's not really an epiphany, and I know a lot of people are going to call me out for saying, Tofu, you're taking the easy way out. But what we're going to do is we're going to program the temperature sensor to display in Kelvin, the two things, but also the delta T, the difference between the temperatures, in case you want to see how it affects the ambient. And then second of all, the second monitor is going to display the English. Speak words. So the second monitor is going to display Celsius. So if you guys are okay with not having Fahrenheit, that is the plan at the moment. Let me just display. I've kind of removed the chat box. I think it was because I was showing Bunzo sometimes. So I'm just going to put the chat box back up. But that being said, we are going to get cracking with the programming in a sec. I have a few things to clean up on my desk. We demand freedom units. Well, go to your freedom. Tips for studying physics specifically, Nada? I would say focus on understanding than learning off, if that helps. I'm not sure if it does, but I can't really give it... I'm usually not a big fan of giving people life advice or studying advice, because you are unique. You are different to me. My advice will never work. My own advice won't work on me. If I was tofu now and talking to my tofu past, I don't tend to give advice because... yeah, I'm of the opinion that we're all very unique and individual, and I can never do anyone justice with a recommendation or advice because we're all very different and individual, unique humans. So I apologize for that. Now, what do I need? I need the connection here, and I'll boot up IDE. Let's get that going. This is a novel approach. I think you should write a self-help book. This book won't help you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's go into the right overlay so you guys can see the programming we're working on. I have a new lighting. So basically, one of my lights died. The second light that was dying, I repaired. I couldn't repair the other one. I just had there was a connection issue, so I repaired that. So now I have one little light and it's right in the middle from below. So it's a bit of a weird light. But, I mean, it's okay if my forehead and nose look a bit shiny to you. Although that's actually one of my things that I'm not nervous about. What's the word in English? What's the phrase again when you're not confident about something in yourself? Trying to think of the word. Yeah, insecure. Okay, there we go. It's one of my insecurities. There we go. Thank you. I don't know why I forgot how to speak again. No B, Villies. Welcome in, Tails. I hope you guys are doing well. Divergence, Omniwarn. You mean every day? Valentine. I see, I see. Is that the code? Okay, that's not too terrible. Oh, no, that's not the code. I think this is... Shoot. This is not the code. I have the wrong code up. It's... What is this project called? I have way too many projects. I think it's OLED infrared because we were looking to actually display it on an OLED screen. Excuse me for burping. Let me boot this up so you guys can see it. Ta-da! Okay, so it's a bit messy. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove a whole bunch of code today. Although the graph is gimmicky and kind of cool to see, it's not useful. I don't think a graph is useful. I was thinking about it more and more. But what is useful is the delta T and the degrees Celsius. So we're just going to do a bit of math. A bit of math. So I'm going to remove that. Oh. Yeah. I think. Oh my god. Just going to go through this code and see what I actually need to remove. That's fine. That's fine. Do you guys see the code, by the way? Back it up first. I have all of these backed up hacks. I've saved a file of these little gems that we found for the OLED. I have that backed up. Or do you think I should just do version 1, version 2 kind of thing? Okay, let's do that. Fuck it, just in case. So we'll say infrared V2 version 2. There we go. Just in case. Void loop. So this is definitely the code we need. And is that in a for loop? No, it's not. Print, delay, display. These are just integers. Not integers. Oh yeah, integers. Yeah. Stating some stuff. We don't need any of this. Verify it, see how it looks at the moment, if we broke the code. Okay, we didn't break it, nice. All right. So I suppose our next few, like obviously I should be testing it bit by bit. The next thing I want to do is so it's going to show the ambient in Kelvin. And then it's going to delay by 5,000 seconds. So another thing that I want to do is I want to do a delta T display. So what I wanted to do is I want to get I just freaking forgot about this. Delta C and delta K are going to be the same. Maybe there's some interesting screen we can do. No, I don't use Git at all. I make my students use it, Lint, but I don't use it at all. Maybe I should. I'm not sure. It's just a backup server, right? Hi, Ellie Drinks. Hello. What did you start liking first? Electronics, math, computer, or was it just a mix of all and you don't remember? I was just good at science. I did biology, chemistry, physics, applied mathematics, and honors maths all in school. So, maths and science. I wouldn't say I particularly loved it. I enjoyed it. No computers. I just was a millennial. So I had access to computer and I just did computer things as we all did. Tumblr, the origins of Facebook, learned how to surf the seas at the time. And then something just all clicked in me, I would say, about 3-4 years ago. Where I just enjoy building things and understanding how they work, and a lot of it comes down to electronics and computing now, so it's all mixed up together. It's much more than that. Okay, fair enough. I'm not too well versed in GitHub. I've never needed to use it. It's not something that I do use for. Oh god, what was that English? Jesus, ignore me. I was playing around with an Arduino IDE and I found I kept losing code. The stupid thing had an autosave on and was overwriting my file before I did a save as. That's funny. Okay, we'll do a delta K value anyway. At the very least, let's do a delta K. No, let's do the second screen instead. I'm going to do a second screen. What I'm trying to do is, we're basically going to do the exact same thing, but it's easier. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy and paste this now. And so we'll leave a comment here that this is the Celsius screen. Look at me, I'm leaving comments, I'm improving chat. You always give out to me for this. The comment screen. Or the absolute temperature scale. So let's look at the Celsius screen. Font size 2, ambient temperature, and we just remove the plus. Not bad. And then we do oh, there was a code. OLED, how to show degrees. It panics. It stresses out when we show degrees. There we go. found a piece of code. We'll see if this works. So ambient temperature, it'll read, then it'll be print this. Then will be display print. And don't forget the semicolon. Space that. And then the degrees is there, like that, I think. If I understand what I'm doing, which I don't. Good morning, Sean. What are you creating from the code? I am building a real-life tricorder from Star Trek. And so the first thing that we're doing is we are coding a infrared sensor that's going to monitor the temperature, ambient temperature, and the thing that we're laser targeting. So we're going to have a gun kind of emplaced in it. And we want it to display on this tiny, tiny OLED screen the temperature readings. We have a couple of OLED screens that we're going to use to monitor a few things. So we've decided on temperature. We brainstormed a few things. We'll see what other sensors we're going to put in our tricorder. You were one turn away from being an engineer, it sounds like. Yeah, I've been exploring about it, that if I were to do another degree now, I would do engineering. I would love to do engineering. I feel like, pretentiously and snobby, it will come in, I can come in to this subject at a very interesting angle, already having all the physics background, if that makes sense. I might be annoyed, but I think I'd enjoy it. Take care of yourself, Quantum Cheeks. Goodbye. Maybe you're right. So, like, this and space, like that? Maybe? No. You mean something like this? Would that be a better thing? Oh! You're absolutely right. I don't know why I have that. Whoops. And I have double brackets for no reason. Okay. There we go. Display print. I don't need the LN, do I? It's a tricorder. Sorry, Sean. It's the tricorder. Sorry if my accent's a bit weird and I'm a bit nasally. It's those handheld devices in Star Trek that they point at things and they say, "Oh, this life form is biological in nature." Clearly, I should be writing the scripts for Star Trek chat. Display exactly, Jay. Exactly. Okay, we'll remove the ln here. Wait, is the ln after this line or for this line? So when I say ln here, it stands for line, right? Here. Will it put the next thing on a new line or this guy on a new line? Can anyone teach me that? Or remind me? It's the next, it's not that line. That makes sense. Then this is what we want. I might be ambitious about this though. I don't even know why I did that. Is that a thing? I think, can you do the plus thing? I don't think so. I don't think this is right. How do I add a space? Because if we're going to be pedantic scientists about this, snobby scientists, we need a space bar after the number, between the number and the unit, if we want to be. Yeah. I think you're right, chat, that the plus was incorrect there. Space before the sea. No, so I need it before this. Does that make sense? I need this, so I need the temperature reading, space. Oh, will I just write? Okay, that, you know what? That makes sense. Why not? I understand that, at least. I'll just do this. Does that make sense? That I know it might be a bit silly to write a whole line of code for that. Maybe there's a better way, but do you know what? If it works, it works. We're not looking to, you know, that's not okay. Let's do the same here then. Oh, sorry. I pulled my glasses and I said I'm sorry to myself. And then we're basically going to copy and paste this. We want this anyway. In here. There we go. Want to verify if we wrote the code correctly or if we missed something? All right, let's feck it. Let's see if it works. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, we're going to sacrifice a Labrat. I don't think we've been doing enough sacrifices around here. I don't know, chat. I think the population of the Labrats is quite immense. Yes, I think so. That's my goal anyway, Atar. I don't know if it actually will work. It's going to be my first time testing it, but I Googled it, and that's what the degree character is meant to be. That's my PC, in case anyone's wondering. What time is the kickoff game between Ireland and Italy? Oh, do you know what I need? Serial monitor? Okay. Oh, Jesus, lads, it's cold in here. Actually, no, it's not. Quite fine. Excuse me. We're going to... Oh. It works! Oh, sorry. I should have shown it to you instead of gotten excited. Let me show you guys. Come here. Come here. Let me go up, guys. Ta-da! So that's the Kelvin. And that's the degrees Celsius. Woo! It is 18 degrees in this room today, chat. 18 degrees. I am cold. Actually, 18 doesn't sound that bad, but I'm freezing at the moment. Nice. Okay, let me point the infrared camera at chat. There we go. How hot is chat today? Oh shit. It went crazy. Chat is 20 degrees Celsius, while the room is 18 degrees Celsius, which means the chat is hotter than the room. All right. So I think a cool thing to add would be a delta T value. It's not much, but it's like, it can give you an estimation of the Stefan Boltzmann radiation. It's not going to be great. Could we do a Stefan Boltzmann? Oh, okay, let's brainstorm. Okay, we're going to brainstorm what we're going to do here. We're still not done this project. We have notions. Dangerous notions. Go up here, guys. Let me fix you. Go. All right. Go back to the programming overlay and let's get other chat up. Wow, it worked. It did. I'm excited that it worked. The chat is well below 36.6 degrees. Well, I suppose we need a quick Google. What's the core temperature of rats? You know? Hi, small bread. Welcome in. Welcome in. Oh, I thought you were waving as in hello, say hello. I didn't understand the emote. I'm sorry, small bread. Hey, GK. Or G Key even. Welcome in. So, what I was brainstorming was the power rating, the Stefan Boltzmann equation, is P is equal to Stefan Boltzmann constant, the emissivity, the surface area of the object, in brackets to the power of T to the power 4 of the object, and then minus T to the power 4 of the ambient room temperature or whatever it is. Now, we actually can't calculate the power emitted of everything because you need the surface area of it. You need to know the emissivity of it. There is an assumption already in the infrared camera, so that's a problem already. There's all these little things. So okay, how about this? Because this is a tricorder, what we're ultimately looking for is detection of life. Okay? I see smoke from my brain. Adult rats remain at core temperature between 36.5 and 38. Oh, cool. Sorry, I got distracted. I had a genius idea. Oh, yes. So, what if we code a line at the bottom to determine whether or not life is present? So the idea behind it is if it is, we have to define the temperature of minimum life, number one. So we'll say 30 degrees Celsius. If something is emitting radiation at 30 degrees Celsius, there's a possibility of life. And so we can write in statement, if above 30 degrees Celsius, write possible life form. Something very simple like that. What do we think? So it wouldn't even be a delta T. Hi, Lizette. Welcome in. Hi, Mars. Start there and build it. Exactly. So I'm kind of conflicted. Well, conflicted is a strong word. I'm aware that we're running out of space on the OLED screen. I can write... Oh, there is smaller font though. I'm using font size... What font size am I using at the moment? Yeah, font size 2. I think there's 1 as well. What was that accent? Delta would make it more accurate. Will it though, clumsy cars? Because I thought about it there for a second, but your core temperature is still going to be 37, whether or not the room is 37 degrees Celsius or colder. So if the room is 37 degrees Celsius, in fact, you would probably more than likely be colder than the room, just because of our skin surface and everything, rather than our core temperature itself. So if the room, the ambient room, happens to be too hot, it'll actually affect that prediction. So instead, we'd want to know the core temperature instead, I think. Do we need to take it down to 24 degrees Celsius for cold-blooded animals like reptiles? That's fair. We could... Yeah, we could do that. Life doesn't mean sentient life, necessarily. No, so we wouldn't be detecting plant life. It'll have to be animalistic. It wouldn't even be insectile. Is that even a word? Okay, so let's think about this. My text color isn't working, by the way. I say white and it's not white. My thing is, you know, blue and yellow. An upside down Ukrainian flag. But I wonder why that is. Is it because of a specific OLED I have? Maybe I'm coding this wrong. I think the OLED has a color film on it. Like a sticky thing on top? Oh, they're manufactured that way. I don't think you can remove it. Okay. Okay. It's not a full RGB one. Oh, so you're calling me cheap. Is that what you guys are saying? Yeah? Yeah? Alright. Alright. That's fine. That's fine. I won't bother with the font text display, so the color display, so. Next up, so cursor 20. I was putting on a Russian accent in my head and then I started actually speaking Russian in my head. I'm so silly. Let me think about this. What's the dimensions?
They call it a mine.
0 to 64. 0, 24. What's double 24? 48. 48. Jimmy, thank you so much for giving a tier 1 sub to Cheap Tofu. My kind of tofu. Thank you so much, Jimmy, for the sub. Appreciate it. Do you teach physics to college? Yes, first year physics is one of the modules I teach. Both semesters. Hi, Patrick. Any chance we go back to the Russian accent? I don't know. It comes out of me when I get angry. Although the Irish accent comes out a lot more when I get angry too. Hope you're doing well. I'm gonna be delighted to see you soon. Sounds a bit weird. I'm looking forward to seeing you soon. There we go. Okay, so I'm basically going to copy and paste this code. No, even this. And we're just going to alter a few things here. Okay, so I'm just going to put a bit of space here just because I want to make sure that I know what I'm changing. So we're going to set the cursor to 48 now. We're going to change the text size to smaller. I don't know if the OLED will allow me to do this. What I'm concerned about is I'm changing pixel dimension technically. All in one screen. Will I break it? I don't know. Okay, hold up. Let's. We need to actually write the code first. About. Jesus, how do I go about writing this? This is what I mean that I'm definitely not a programmer. I know people will say, if you're writing code, you're writing code. No, because here's my struggle now. I want to simply say, if temperature Sorry, I'm thinking. Is larger than, we'll say, just get it going, 30, let's say. Okay. If the object temperature is higher than 30, actually, no. We just need, if it's higher than 30, print life is true. And then if not, or elif. Wait, is elif a thing in IDE? something like, if MLX is higher than 30. Shit. Okay.
No, thank you.
No, not you.
Hi,
Hi, Sharon. Welcome in, welcome in.
Very old friends.
So how close are we to Tofu's robots uprising? You know what? If these are the robots that uprise against us, I think we're all going to be fine. Sharon, thank you so much for the 26 months. Welcome in, welcome in. There is no LF in C and C++. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Or equal. Oh yeah, that's true.
Clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
Hi, Spooky. Oh. How about if the object reads display, then we write possible, we just write possible life form. We'll think of a witty thing to write. But I don't think no semicolon after the statement. That's fair because we want it in this. How do I do that trick again? To auto indent it. Is a Control T? I don't think I did that correctly. I think I'm doing this wrong. I've clearly written this code incorrectly. Oh, a vibration. There's life, Jim, but not as we know it. Add some curly brackets. Oh, that's right. No. You're absolutely right. I do need to add curly brackets. Do I add it here, basically? Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay, wait, I fucked up something. Compilation expected open bracket or... Oh, the if should be in the parenthesis as well. Okay. I thought it should be outside it. So like this. Okay, that's interesting. I would have thought that it would be if and then whatever your... Okay. My brain is not a computer. I need to think like a computer. Then Control T. Ugh. No, I'm still doing something wrong. This is definitely not right. Oh, I see. If the condition. Oh, okay. So if the condition is in brackets like this, then what I needed, if the condition is met, this is what it needs to do. Did I say that kind of okay-ish? So if, then in brackets, what I wanted to do, curly brackets. Yay! Okay, thank you. Let's Control T that. I Control T'd correctly! Woohoo! Fuck! It's still not right. Okay. I don't know if it works, but... All right, not bad, not bad, not bad. Fair enough, fair enough. First time. Thank you, Spooky. Yes, yes. Okay, it doesn't mean it's working. It just means it compiled. Okay, Labrats. Cross your fingers on your toes. And everything else that you're allowed to legally cross. And, you know, health and safety cross. Because here it comes. We're going to upload it now. Damn. It's not showing up on the display at all. Oh, that's right. The reason why it's not showing up at all is because there's nothing. Okay. I need something hot. I'm frozen, unfortunately. I'm gonna get a cup of... I'm gonna boil a kettle real quick. Kettle needs to boil. Another option is we pointed at Bambi. Bambi might be hot enough. Rabbits run hotter than humans. But she's not very exothermic though. She's quite an insulated... Bambi might be a lot... Yeah, let's grab Bambi. She might be a good test shot. Okay, no, that sounds like animal testing. Look, it's not animal... Okay, you know what? I'm not going to do it because I'm just going to get clipped out of context and cancelled. I'm not doing that. No. We're not doing animal testing on stream, chat. That's not what I'm doing. Don't misquote me on that. We're not testing. This is experimentation. But you do need an else statement to know if this is working properly. As in, like, if not... Oh, okay. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try to do this by myself. Do I put the... Oh, okay, question before I start. Can I do the else statement in the curly brackets? Sorry. So what I'm saying is, how does it work in C and C++? Is it a separate... statement now? Is my question. If... Okay. Ah, okay, I get it now. Okay. Let's try that. So it's like this. Else... display actually I'll just print all of this. No life form. Say something like that. Right? That seems pretty straightforward enough. I'll upload that. Done uploading. Okay. It works! She's alive! Sort of! Let me show you, chat. Oh my goodness! I hate the font. I hate the size. But, you know... I'm sorry, you might not see it. It says no life form. We could say detected. We've space to do detected now, which is cool. But yeah, so on the Kelvin screen, oh yeah, there you go. So on the Kelvin screen, we might do a delta K value. And then on the Celsius screen, we'll say life form or possible life form detected. That would be cool. Oh, this is so cool. Well, actually, do you know what? I'd prefer if we could make a bigger font and see if we can fit that, but I doubt it. Okay, now we want to test it if there is a life form. Let me get hot water. Here we go. Thank you, Ian Clumsy Car as well. Appreciate it. So we're going to point it inside the kettle. Possible life form! Woohoo, baby! Oh shit, it's 68 degrees. Oh, we could do a max value. There's no way. Oh, lads, we could cap it too. Oh, let's go. Okay. Let's do this. I know exactly what we need to attach to it. Because if it's too hot, it can't be a life form as well. So let's brainstorm. What do you think the cap of an average alien species in terms of thermodynamic ability would be? But is it compatible with life? So, oh, okay. How do I write this? Let me think. If object temp is above or equal to 30 and now if I were a logic gate person, I would say but how would I code that? Could be just and. No? Okay. Okay, no. Okay, I might look up a syntax for that. Hi, Killer Tofu. I don't know the answer, but I like your Twitch name. Welcome in. I do need a pee break. I'm bursting to pee. You can use and for bullying. Ah, I see. Clumsy also posted that. So, like this? Wait, what is and again? Oh, we can't see code. Oh, sorry. Oh, wrong overlay. No, wrong. I'm panicking. There we go. Apologies. I was so sorry. Just to show you what I was saying. I was saying or and. I was literally typing this manually. But then here we go. What's and again? Sorry. And is... It has to meet both conditions. Yeah, no, that's correct. 2 high inputs equal high output. This is correct, yeah. And... AMD is correct. Wait, I can type and? It works like that? Does it? Some modern compilers do. Okay. No. Okay, fair enough. Okay, what limit do we... sorry. And also less than or equal to... what temperature do you think is a good one? 40 degrees? I mean, a human being could be up to 40 degrees. How hot can lizards be? Because if we're defining this as a biological lizard, range of lizard temperatures. It's a very weird thing to Google. But if the lizard people control us, we want to be able to detect them. So They can range anywhere from 24 degrees Celsius to 43 degrees Celsius in basking temperature. 24 to 43. So we'd say 24 to 43. Let's see if that works. I fucked it all up. Oh no. I've ruined everything. Everything's over. Oh, I see. Okay, okay. So I need to restate this like that. Okay. Hi, Pega, welcome in. All right. Cool. Oh, I'm gonna also change this. I know, no, we'll stay. No life form detected. There we go. Upload that now. Hi, Cinderella. Cool. I'll show you now. Into this overlay. I'll bend the camera over for chat. Let me handle you guys. So, no life form detected. Then in the Kelvin screen, we don't have anything. I'm going to put a delta K value in the delta screen. Then no life form detected. And then hopefully when I have the boiling kettle water and I put the laser at it, we're going to see life form detected. Possible life form. Shit. Oh, it's too hot. Yes, it works. Okay, now I'm going to zoom out a bit and see what happens. Hey, 24.59 possible life form. Woo! Let's go. Possible life form. Woohoo! Our tricorder works. Oh man, this is so cool. Okay, we're almost done. This, sorry. In the name, tricorder, we need 3 things. So we've only spent how many streams on this, but we're only formatted 1 piece of electronics. We need 2 more. Okay, let's go back to the code. Oh, I need to pee. Oh, I keep forgetting to pee. Okay, I'll be right back, chat. We're going to finish this at the very least. And I think we need to brainstorm, Churn. There's a few ideas. So I don't want to use an infrared, infrasonic detector because I coded so many things with it. As much as this is fun and like useful thing I'm building, my other aspect about it is I want to teach myself new things. So I want to use a sensor I've never used before. I found something called a metal touch detector. I want to see what that is and see what it's about. And then if it's something like we could test the sample, and if it's metal, then we can exclude it from being a life form. You know? I don't know. That's one of the notions I have. We'll see. I'm open to brainstorming suggestions, but as long as it's a sensor that I haven't coded with before, that's what I want to do. I'll be right back.
45, and determine as well that the answer is 2.83 meters per second. What is going on? Why is the answer the same? Is this a mistake? Now, this is what 45-degree angle is all about. So if you ever see that 45-degree angle, know that your components are going to be the same in the X and Y. This is great. We just determined at what speed Gimli is going up initially, and at what speed he's going sideways initially as two separate components. The first part we're going to determine is how long was Gimli in the air? And we have three kinematic equations we talked about earlier. You could sit there and basically decipher, tick off what information you have and what information you're looking for. And using this method, you can determine that you need the S is equal to UT plus a half of AT squared. The x0 cancels off because that's the initial position and the initial position is 0. What we're doing here is we're substituting all the y components. How long Gimli is in the air is only dependent on the y vector, all the up arrows and all the down arrows, and that's what we're substituting here in this equation. We determined that roughly the height difference was 1.37 meters, 1 Gimli, but remember it has to be a negative. And also remember that when substituting for gravity, you have to make it minus 9.81 meters per second squared, because gravity is acting against us. We then get ourselves into a quadratic equation and we use the minus b formula. We know what the a component, b component, and c component is. I simplified the mathematics here and subbed in all the values, but we get two possible answers because there's a plus or a minus part of the equation. Two answers result in 1.124 and the other one is minus 3.189. And I am ignoring the negative sign because, well, time doesn't move negatively, technically. That's another story for another time, why it can be negative. But in this case, we can only take a positive answer for time, and so we've determined that Gimli has been in the air for 1.124 seconds. Now that we know the time that Gimli has spent in the y-axis, how long he was going up and how long he was going down, that's also the amount of time that he spent going in the x direction. That kind of didn't change. If we know how long he was up in the air for, we know exactly that's how long he was going for when he was going in the x direction with no air resistance, and it didn't change in speed. And so using your simple speed equation, v is equal to distance divided by time, we know that his speed was 2.83 in the x direction. We know he was in the air for 1.2 seconds. Multiply those values together and we estimated that he got tossed at 3.18 meters. You can evaluate the video and determine that maybe we're slightly off on the meters. Feel like there could have been an extra meter there by eyeballing the image of the film. But overall, I thought the estimations were pretty accurate. I hope you found this video informative, educational, or at the very least, a bit of fun. The most extended credits go to Medjay, a dear friend of mine who animated this whole series. Fantastic artist and a fantastic human being. And thank you so much finally to my Twitch chat who participated live in solving this problem. Take care of yourself, stay safe, and stay curious. Imagine the year is 1943 and you live in the Soviet Union. You and your family had to pack up your belongings and move cross countries to Kazakhstan for your safety because of World War II. You abandon your home, your life, your work, your career, your friends into a very, very crammy train, into a very crammy apartment that you share with many others because you know everything is just up in flames. The whole world is at risk at the moment. However, one evening you get a phone call. A very important man is on the other line and he says, you are to return to Moscow urgently. You have to carry out specialized work. And the phone hangs up. The weight of the nation is on your shoulders, but you must answer that call. You must leave your family again and travel across the country back to Moscow so that you can work on the atomic bomb. This is a story of a scientist on the other side of the wall. Her name was Zinaida Ershova, and please give me this opportunity to share her incredible story. She was born on October 23rd, 1904. She enrolled in Moscow State University and was part of the Faculty of Physics and Mathematics. She found somewhat of a calling in laboratory work, in experimental work, and so worked in the chemical labs. She absolutely loved working with radioactive materials. I only laugh a little bit because that's a scary area to love to work in. But she connected her life through it, and so she worked really hard in working in a radiochemical laboratory. In 1924, she was going to meet a man that was going to pave her way into her work and field and area of expertise. She met Vitaly Chlopin. He was the deputy director of the Radium Institute, and they had almost a lifelong mentorship. Vitaly basically guided Zinaida in her career, in her science, in her research, and helped her get the opportunities that she did. She started working in the Moscow plant for rare elements. This was the main source in the industrial production of radium at the time. She became head of the physical laboratory very quickly, basically being one of the main credited contributors to the launch of the radium production at the time in 1931. Like many scientists around the world to this day, they need to explore and travel around the world and get an education outside of their own country. And so in 1936, Zinaida travelled to Paris. She had a scientific internship in the Radium Institute. She worked under Irene Joliot Curie. This is the eldest daughter of Pierre and Marie Curie. While she was there, she did some amazing individual work and published a vital paper of the 238 and the 235 uranium ratio. This was in 1937. She defended her PhD in 1943 and successfully received her doctorate for that research. The pact is broken between Stalin and Hitler, and so we are in the middle of World War II. In 1943, Ershova was evacuated to Kazakhstan along with her family and friends, but of course, going back to the initial part of the story, she gets a call back, and she is sent back to Moscow. Under Khlopian's recommendation, she was working in Geretmet. Kurchatov's institute was a famous institute in Russia at the time, and so it was the focal point of nuclear research. Zinaida played a crucial part in this laboratory. She was the driving force behind obtaining uranium carbide and uranium metal. She was also one of the founders of the Institute of Special Materials. This later became NII-9. She was also appointed as the first head of the radiochemical laboratory there in 1946. She was the leading force and the researcher behind a lot of the new methods at the time of basically obtaining materials for radioactive development, both for bombs and for nuclear research. She was the one who produced the plutonium for the first Soviet bomb. She was a pioneer in the research of polonium at the time and awarded the Khlopian Prize in 1968 for her work in the chemistry and physics laboratories. If it weren't for her research in
complete autopilot mode, I put on the kettle. Why I did that? Sorry, I didn't put on the kettle. I made coffee, and like, you might think, oh, tofu, that's okay. That's just a button. My coffee is in a whole percolator. Like, how the hell did my autopilot brain? Oh, it's still 0-0. Not great science hacks, not great science, but you know, it is what it is. Sorry, I'm still in 1943 in the Soviet Union. It was one of my earlier research videos I did. Oh, sorry, I hit the mic. Apologies. I hope I didn't make anyone deaf. All right, so let's put on some Skyrim background music. Skyrim music is always good. Nukenate had a good idea, yeah? On research of a tricord lore, I think it would be I think it would get calibrated to a range relevant to the local ecosystem. Bonk seeing this advert of a motorcyclist wearing vertical half underwear only. Who knows? Calibrated to the local environment? What do you mean? Sorry, I know what that statement means. I'm not asking in case that. What do we mean by? I think they'd flip a dial for the range for life science depending on what planet they're dropping on. Okay. So use the ambient reading to set the range. But it's reading true ambient temperature, so it doesn't affect what planet you're on. You know? Am I misunderstanding something here? You guys are saying that there's a dial setting, and then they switch it, and then that's where you'll get the ambient temperature and the true temperature of the creature that you're analyzing. But the thing is, this infrared sensor is measuring true values no matter what, so it doesn't matter where you are. I don't know. You need to get a temperature to compare the calculation to in case a room is higher than the object. Oh, that's okay. Sorry, this is an expensive infrared sensor. It measures true ambient and true infrared at the pointed target we're looking at. I think what they mean is that if you land on a 135-degree planet, the life form isn't going to have it. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. But I don't know how you could calibrate that then. Then we'd have to analyze aliens. I don't know how we could make a blanket alien analysis then. Do you know what I'm saying? Just because you're on a 135-degree planet doesn't mean that they have to be higher than 135 degrees to function. They could be cold-blooded as well, technically. Like, the range I've chosen is just for humans, human-esque, and lizard people. We're very fond of lizard people around here. My coffee's ready.
Commander, set a new course. There's coffee in that nebula.
Thank you for that. I was probably thinking, no, it's okay to suggest things. Like, that's the beauty of the things. We can brainstorm. They would register on the temp scan. It's infrared, so it's radiated temperature, Mustang. And so what if you're cold-blooded, you'll still radiate. No matter if you're a living creature, you will radiate heat. Unless you have an emissivity value of 0. Wouldn't it be like an issue to scale? A fish in 60 degrees water versus efficient 80 degrees water. Oh, fish in 80 degrees water, like using a formula. So that's, again, I think that's okay. My sensor is quite expensive. We joked around with this. Well, chat once asked me what's the most expensive sensor or electronic component I own. And this guy cost €15. It was a really expensive sensor. It just measures true value of ambient and of the object we're pointing at. So I don't think we need to even worry about that kind of thing. Italy down to 14 at the moment. Yellow card, but still 0-0. Yes, I hear. You'd think Ireland would take advantage of that, but no. Good coffee. Good coffee indeed. No, look at me smiling. Welcome in. I don't plan to use any. There's a few machine learning projects that I was involved in. This was way before, well, not that way before, but before like AI was a thing. But no, I'm not particularly interested in that. I know that it is a very strong tool. For science and for technology, but it's not something I'm interested at all at the moment, no. If something interesting comes along, maybe, but I don't know. I'm not... It's just not my forte, and I'm not even... Meh. Ireland, try. Let's go. Okay, let's go back to the IDE. We have some ideas. So one of the ideas I have is that we have a delta T value. Now, what will that give us? Well, it will give us that this object is radiating net positive or net negative heat. If it's radiating into the atmosphere is radiating into, or it's radiating to, you know what I mean. Now add a code to look at other temperature ranges and put possible lizard or possible chicken. Always put possible in it. Yeah, that's true. You mentioned a metal contact center. Isn't it possible for life forms to be metal-based? Someone mentioned as well. I'm going to assume not. Oh, well, unless we talk about artificial intelligence. Aliens can have metallic components, but would aliens be purely metallic There was an argument made for silicon before. I think that's a bit out the window nowadays. So when I say metal, pure metallic substance matter, yeah, that's what I would say. Could we determine? Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Oh, wrong overlay. This is the Tofu Tech Talk overlay. I haven't done a Tofu Tech Talk in ages. I unfortunately have like 5 people with question marks that they said they'd love to do it. They just need to look at their schedule. And I've just been in limbo. Because like if I ask 2 or 3 more guests again to come to Tofu Tech Talk, I'm going to have like 8 people in limbo. And it's like, oh, I hate that. I hate that. As in, this is not me giving out to guests. They have every right to be in limbo. My problem is if I've accumulated too many limbos, it's going to be quite difficult to manage everyone. We'll see about the metal touch detector anyway. It was something that I just looked at my sensors. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to write a whole bunch of code here as well. Oh, do you know what? Wait, before we move on, let's comment what we just did. Because commenting is great. I'm trying to be a better tofu. See, aren't I an amazing evolved tofu? How about a light level detector? I don't know what that... Would that detect something? Oh, chat, do you see the coding? Or do we have eyes on my code? You can all criticize me. Points at me, lifeform dim. Sorry for laughing at that. Actually, I'm not sorry. Anyways, where was I? Let me go back here. Okay, so here we say, display set cursor again. We still say the text size, and then print display. Can I do mathematical function? Like this minus this? Does that work? Will I break the internet? Break the code if I do that? Let's see. Okay. At the very least, we didn't break the code. Whether or not it worked is a question. We would also write delta. So what's the symbol for delta? OLED symbol for delta. Might not be able to. No AI. I don't want an explanation. Go away. How about I just say triangle? It might not freak out at me then. Nope. Often in my projects, they tend to become outdated, hence the saying, comments lie. Like the cake lies, it's the comments that lie. Does anyone see what the symbol for OLED, for the OLED symbol list? Maybe I'll look up a symbol list. Here we go. There's a list of symbols that I can print. I don't see delta. I do see... Okay, it's not delta, but it's kind of like a triangle and a filled triangle. Use the attached map to find the character you need. Use 0x dash dash. Okay, okay. Like, that's tedious, watchmakering. We learned how to make lines earlier. It's a lot of lines of code to do it. There is a symbol that's quite close to delta. Well, oh, okay. We don't necessarily need it actually to be delta because that's a very scientific kind of symbol. Instead, what we might do is that we print net temp. Oh, I didn't even verify it first. Let's see if it works. It's too big. Just can't see the temperature. Ah. Don't forget the space bars. Let me show you how it works. I think this might be it, chat. Net minus 0.8. No life form detected, okay. Net 4.92. That's not bad, okay. And then we pointed at the coffee. We're going to zoom out a little bit. Possible life... Oh, shit, I didn't show it to you. Possible life form detected. Possible life form. Woohoo! My coffee has life. That's kind of scary. Let's go. Sentient coffee, cease drinking immediately. Coffee is live. Yes. Oh my goodness. Chat, I have my first little tiny OLED screen programmed for our tricorder. So we can write an interesting piece of code after we have the three things. And it could be something like, we could write an if statement of the probability of something being a life form. For example, if it meets all three conditions, it's something like 88% chance this is a life form. Or if it only meets 2 out of the 3 conditions, they'll say something like 60% chance of this being a life form or stuff like that. Or maybe like, depending on how it varies, this might be a bit more advanced than needed. But depending on how much it varies, we can also do some calculations and stuff like that. I don't know. I think that's kind of cool. We'll see how it goes, of course. So why is coffee life but tofu isn't? Remnants of bean life. One bean consuming another. Excellent, excellent. All right. Right. Are we done? Have we done our first out of the 3 tricorders? Sensors? Chat, you should be proud of yourself. I think we should all applaud each other. Bulabas! Bulabas! Well done, team. We have finished our first sensor of our tricorder project. Exciting. Hi, Rogue Jelly. Kenny, welcome in. Ken... and everyone else in between. Magi, if I didn't say hello to anyone, I hope I wasn't being rude. We have finished. Sorry, I'm trying to unplug this. Oh! Ow! Oh, I hurt myself. Anywho, we have our first... Oh, fuck. Shit. Oh, I know what this is. I really should draw the electronic circuit for this, because I might do that. I might actually draw this electronic circuit. The reason is this isn't something we found online. We put this together with other stuff in parallel, so we need to be careful. First things first, where's my notebook? There it is. I'll put you down, chat. There's no ghosts in space, Berserk! Hello! These are all the Labrat passes. I will get them done this week, she says boldly. So we'll just say that this is... It's going to be upside down for you guys. Was solder acquired? Shit, no. I haven't purchased solder. I need to buy some. Or steal it. So we'll call this the OLED. And there's 4 pins in it. There is ground VCC. GND VCC. Clock. And data. And then we have the temp sensor. Steal it? Yeah. Someone might have it. Temp. V in. Ground. Clock. And data. And then we have, obviously, the microcontroller. And on the microcontroller, the pins that we're using is obviously 5 volt and ground. And A4 and A5. Okay, so we'll try and color code this a little bit. Definitely try and keep the red wires live. Maybe data lines black. And then... No, we'll do black ground. Okay, so what is connected to ground, obviously? Here we go. And... There we go. A little dot to show that that's a connection. Excellent. I'll just double check that's what I've done before I lie. Why do I bother? I can figure this out on in any day of the week, right, chat? Right? Yeah, because it's actually very simple. There's no need to draw this. I'll know... I'm only laughing because these are clearly famous last words from me. But like, it is really easy to figure out. There's just a common voltage, a common ground between them. Nice and straightforward. There's only 2 components. And then the A4 is connected to the data. A4 is the data for both of them. Let me check. Yes, so data is A4. There was no need to do that. Okay. And then A5 is the clock. Okay. All right, not bad. Just in case. Ireland 5, Italy 10. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Oh, Jesus. Oh, lads, that is not what a tofu wants to hear. Ugh. Are Italy playing amazing? Actually, it's very nice and straightforward circuit. I'm very happy. Take a picture of the device in its current state. Yeah, hopefully. What channel is it on? Is it RT? I don't know. I always forget. Isn't it between RT and Virgin that they're constantly sharing? Irish Scrum have been sin-binned. Okay. Hi, Master. Welcome in. Okay, so I think we're not going to finish the science and tech segment of today's stream. I vote we explore what our next tricorder is going to be. So let me pull out my box of magic tricks, i.e. my box of sensors. And let's see, what one should we test? I have a feeling we should test the... metal touch. I'm going to record this week, I promise. There's going to be an educational video out about the Demon Core. And yes, I'm going to make it educational. Bit of a headache. I think I'm drinking too much coffee. It's a bit wasteful. I hate the fact that I'm wasting beans, but health and safety, it hurts.
Precious.
My precious. Nation, thanks so much for your prime. Really appreciate it. Welcome in, welcome in. Is she feeding the bunny? No. I was seeing if she wants to come down. She's a bit... Oh, that's not my sensor box. Damn it. That's a possible life form you're disregarding. That is true. Forgot about that already. My sensor box. Just a box I have of sensors. Different cool sensors. Oh, there we go. Okay, so let's have a quick look again of this. So there is this sensor, like I said, I have a metal touch one. We have... Ooh, a relay. I haven't used relays, even though they're really cool. We have photoresistors and IR. We have avoidance track and linear hall. Small sound. We do have the sound sensor. Oh no, we don't have sound sensor. I used it. It's gone now. It's in my Demon Core now. Right, we'll definitely look at the metal touch anyway, see what the metal touch is about. So just to show you what the metal touch is. This is a metal touch sensor. Ta-da! Not sure what it does, but we're just gonna do some Googling. It's time to Google. We might not have the sensors to do this tricorder. We might have to explore something. That could be another sensor platforms. Your bunker yellow stays a yellow due to mitigation of the scrum half going backward. Okay, that's good to hear. Let's explore. So what were we Googling? We're Googling metal touch sensor. Arduino. I'm not sure, really. That's exactly what I want to check. I don't know what a metal... Find like a code on it. It's analog anyway. Have a... Oh, wait. Fancy shit, lad. Blind as a bat. We'll look at from directly from the company. Ah, there we go. It's nice. I typed in Elegoo, so it came up directly. So it's a KY036 metal touch sensor. So we're going to open a tab so we can all read it together. Be prepared for flashbang. Programming, and then the IDE instead is going to be, there we go. Okay. Advancing Science, have you lined up for your Humble Chatters Day? We're just doing a few experiments on sensors today. So we just finished building our temperature sensor, the tricorder. Now we're going to look at this metal touch sensor. Not sure what it is. Not sure, Aid. That's why we're kind of looking it up. Here we go. The KY036 metal touch sensor is an analog digital sensor that uses a transistor to detect changes in electronic conductivity. When the transistor is touched with a finger, the conductivity changes and the module emits a digital and analog signal. The digital output can be used as a switch that changes state when touched. The analog output can measure the intensity of the touch. Ooh. The detection threshold can be regulated using an onboard pot. Okay. Let's look at the specs. Operation 3.3 to 5.5 volts. Nice. So it has 4 pins. Classic. Pin 7, pin A0. Okay, that's great. That's fine. Okay. The analog output returns a high value when no touch is detected. The value depends on the supplied voltage and the position of the pot. When you touch the transistor, the output value will decrease. Okay. If the digital value becomes high, digital right LED pin high, turn on Arduino's LED. Else, digital right LED pin low, turn off LED. Read analog interface. Serial print the actual value. Okay. Okay, this is nice and straightforward code that we can write ourselves. The good news is I'm going to use a separate microcontroller for this, but the good news is that we're not using up any pins. It's using A0 and pin 7. Well, it doesn't matter actually, that pin. But because of that, because we're not using those pins in our other Arduino, we can all embed this in one code, which is nice. But for now, we're keeping this simple. We're going to treat all 3 sensors separately. Then we're going to put them together. And we're going to rule the world. Sorry. That comes out sometimes. Don't worry about it. It's fine. So let me grab some stuff, I guess. We just need a screwdriver. Flathead. Okay, so I have my flatheads. Some wires, a breadboard. Wires. Breadboard. I screamed and I heard Bambi go upstairs. And we have another Elegoo R3. Okay. We have everything to build this. I can't turn off my new touch stove when I press it. Oh. I think I have a similar problem with my one. A little bit similar anyway. Half time, 5 to 10, Italy. You know what? You know what? Maybe this is Italy's year. What if Italy go for not just their first ever win in Nations, but what if they beat everyone? Italy Grand Slam. Exactly. Exactly. What if Italy win the Grand Slam this year? I am way too ambitious now about that. As if building a tricorder is not futuristic enough, now we go full on sci-fi. Ugh. Oh, I love the color, honestly. I don't know, the black looks so slick. Ooh. It's really cool. Ugh. My eyebrows are itchy. Yeah, no, I'm very disappointed because for my fantasy team, I bet that France, England, and Ireland would win. So I picked 4 out of all of them, for all of them. So I'm just, yeah. If Ireland, oh God, I just can't, no, shush. Shush, 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 shush. Let's not talk. We're not talking. Oh, let me, bring you down, guys. Eye level. Oh. Oh. Okay, so I clearly haven't used this breadboard a lot, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-probe it. That's true, Jimmy. Italy aren't a second half team. They're very notorious for doing extremely well in the first half, and it's like they lose all their fire by the second half. I think, generally speaking, Italy, it's the fitness, but also their subs. They have quite a good starting team, but their replacements are nowhere near on the level or strong. Like, there's a quick steep down. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Like, generally, there's a reason why people are subs, and we get that. But I feel like Italy's subs... Oh, okay. Where's my... I forgot I sorted these out. I need male to male. These male to male? Yes, these are male to male. So, let's have a quick look. We have ground in this line. Ground is very easy and straightforward. We connect that to ground. Ta-da! Hi, Not the Brain. Welcome in. Oh, we should get something metal. Oh, I have a motor here. Yeah, I have a metallic motor. We can test conductivity on this thing. Ground, then the positive port is here. Okay. Not the Brain opinion. I hope you guys are keeping well. A not then. Oh, sorry, analog. Oh, yeah, analog there. And then digital here. Got this guy and this maze digital, and we'll assign pin 7 to it. Okay, I think I've built the circuit. Nice and handy and straightforward. So there's just 4 pins. We have the digital read, those in the digital pin line. We have the analog. In the analog A0, we just have ground and power source. All good. Should work. So, next step that we're going to do is we're going to code. We're not going to do much coding. We're just going to test this. I say that now, and every single time we have one of these projects running, I get too excited and I'm like, oh, let's just do this one more thing. Just do one more thing. This is why I can't do lists. I want to be... Do you know that aesthetic of studying online? Do you know those study people? There's so many amazing Twitch streamers who do that as well. But there's a lovely like productivity aesthetic and studying aesthetic that's online. And I love watching them. They're very satisfying to watch. And I always want to do that, but it never works for me. The problem is that if I'm truly being productive, I sit down, I start doing something, I get really into it. I don't want to do only 20 minutes of it or part one of it. I want to keep going. And I have to keep going while the fire's there, because if I keep burning out the fire, I lose motivation in all the aspects of projects and studying and things like that. I know that you're making a joke, Spooky, but I don't get it. Is it about me being loud? I don't get it, sorry. Was that your attempt at insulting me? Programming ID. So let's save this IDE, OLED infrared, and file save. There we go. Then we're going to open a new IDE file. And we'll call this Metal Touch. Yeah, the hands are so much slower than the mind. That's why I can never keep an honest diary, Rude Magi. That's what I feel anyway. I feel like I can't keep an honest journal because by the time I write the sentence that I want, I've altered what I really wanted to say, and it becomes performative quite quickly. Maybe performative is the wrong word, but it's not true. And then I tend to lying, and it's like, what's the purpose of lying in a journal? And yeah, I get frustrated and angry then, and I have no interest in, you know, doing a journal then. There we go. Let's see how this works. We don't insult the streamer here, we just annoy her. Big difference. Okay, does that mean that Spooky gets the banhammer for insulting me? Ow. Ugh. Oh! Sorry, my hand hurts. Ooh. Okay. Ah, it works! Cool. Good. So when I touch the metal detector, it lights up. Quite delayed. Oh. I'm just holding it steadily, see? Then I let go. It stays at max value 10,023, right? But then when I put my fingers on it, it goes down, but then it just jumps back up. And down. And back up. That must be a feedback signal somehow, right? Do you know what I'm saying? Either feedback or you have a very slow pulse. Do you see the graph being plotted, by the way? I don't know if it's being captured. I have a serial plotter here. You guys don't see it yet. Fine. I have a plot here as well. I wonder what's going on. We see a numerical field. Yeah, and I'm not sure why that happens. And the LED contact isn't flickering, by the way. It is on constantly. But that's a separate line of code. It's just detecting that I have my finger on it the whole time. That's an LED. It's like contact has been made is what it's saying. And then to read back the value, why is it going up and down? Let me read the code. Just read analog interface. Is my connection poor, maybe? I don't think so. Does that have something to do with the capacitor? There's no capacitor on it, no. There's only resistors and pots. There might be a little gate in it, but there's no capacitor in there for sure. I'll mess around with the sensitivity, just see what's going on, you know? Those values don't seem to be changing. Not much anyway. I'll go the opposite way. Ah! Son of a potato. No, okay, the pot's not doing much. Suppose it doesn't matter if we're really maxing it. Okay, let's see when I'm touching metal. What happens when we touch a metal? So I have a piece of metal here. It's just a motor. I'm just going to touch it. No, I'm not touching it with the metal. I'm touching it with my finger. So let's touch it with the metal. See what happens. It's the same reading. Not much different. Could be missing a ground. Okay, yeah, maybe my ground connection is bad. Let's check it. Ooh. Check if my ground is okay. Sorry, my mic was off. What I said was, am I silly, or is the name Metal Touch coming from the fact that it's a piece of metal and it's a touch sensor only? Did I get bamboozled? Is that what's just after happening? Oh. Welcome back, Sean. Okay. Oh, my nose is running. We need to find maybe the data sheet for this. This isn't a data sheet. This is so we'll say KY036 Metal Touch sensor. Oh, cool. Thanks, Jimmy. Oh, sorry, I burped. Excuse me, I'm very rude today. Okay, so Instructables has a site. Let me show you to. I don't know if it's any good. We're just going to read an Instructables link here. In industry, the exact position of a metal tool in a CNC or lathe or robotic arm in the automation system is very important. Okay. It has a comparator IC that will provide a digital output. It is a switch that only works when touched by a charged body. There's a high frequency crystal Darlington tube. Oh, isn't that lovely? A Darlington tube. That's a lovely name. It also has an M2 size bolt holes. Easy. The resistors pots to change the sensitivity to the output of touch. Okay. Cool. Oh god. There's amplifiers and stuff. Oh my god. Never mind. This is terrible. Emits a signal when the front metal tip of the sensor is touched. The touch detection makes it ideal for application where simple and intuitive user interface is required. The sensitivity of the sensor can be adjusted with the controller so that it can respond to different levels of touch. The sensor is ideal for interactive projects, controls, and other applications. Okay, so the sensor is ideally suited for a threshold value measurement. This means that the sensor emits a digital signal as soon as... So basically, when I touched it with my hand, my finger, I stopped conductivity completely. I'm not conductive. Maybe the thing that I touched it with isn't conductive metal. Okay, let's get another thing that I know is metal. I'm just going to open the IDE. You can just trust me that when I touch it with this... Oh, there we go. Shit. Still the same problem. Still giving the same values. Yeah.
Good news, everyone!
Good news. Tofu is not conductible. That is good news, Masha. What does a metal sensor do? Supposedly, it detects metal. I'm going to see if it works, though. We don't know how it works. Direct measurement of the sensor indicates the sensor is supplied with voltage, indicates that the metal tip has been touched. The sensor has two functional components. The sensor for... Yeah, okay, we understand that. Unless I've screwed up the sensitivity of the bad boy, you know? Maybe that's a thing. So, reduce sensitivity is this way. Maybe the conduction is really, really crazy high at the moment. Try touching with plastic. Okay. I have a plastic ruler here. So I touch it. How peculiar. It's not detecting that it's being touched. I'm touching you! That's so bizarre. It won't detect that it's being touched. Fuck! Like, sorry, I'm pushing it really down. So sorry, I understand that it's not conductive. That's fine. The issue is that it's not sensing that it's being touched. So we're just... Okay. But that's weird. It definitely detects that it's been touched by this screwdriver. So bizarre. Well, it senses by pushing it. So no, just be careful. There's two sensors. Number one, there's a sensor of touch. And number two, there's a sensor of conductivity. So conductivity should be a numerical representation. Touch should be a little LED that lights up. So no matter what we're touching with it, it should measure it. So it doesn't matter. The problem is it's not detecting the plastic for some reason. It's detecting my hand though. And I'm not conductive. Or maybe I am conductive. Maybe that's the problem. Well, no, it says it's a low numerical value. No. Maybe this is not conductive. Maybe all the metals I've been touching it with are not conductive. Here's a lighter. A lighter. A bit of metal on it. No, it's still the fucking same issue. I'm reducing the sensitivity. I'm screwing it out like. And I don't think it's helping. Yeah, it's same values. Because like it should be a range, you know? I did find your streams quite electrifying. Aren't we conductive? You are conductive. A fraction, yes. My point is the conductivity should be a numerical representation. I should not be of equal conductivity as a screwdriver, though. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm getting... When I touch this with my finger, I get 140, 150. Then I touch this with the screwdriver, I get 150 as well. I should not be as conductive electrically as a metal screwdriver head. Do you know what I mean? Am I making sense? Why I don't think this is working. Or at least I don't understand. Yeah, it's definitely a threshold. There's something happening threshold-wise. Oh, datasheet. Okay. This might be good. I think it's a don't touch me, I'm scared sensor. It does look like that a bit, yeah. Oh, the website's not loading. This is a simple project that utilizes a metal touch sensor with an Arduino. Metal touch sensor is connected to Arduino. It will trigger the switch when it sends data to Arduino board. Okay. Cool. Circuit. Okay. Connect the LED. This is the code. Okay. Oh god, that quality is really low. Oh, there might have been a forward pass. Okay. So only fingers or hot dogs based life forms may operate the tricorder. Okay. What I might do is I might unplug it and I'll just... I need to pee again. Am I allowed to pee real quick? I've been streaming for a while. Maybe we'll pee real quick. We're going to rebuild the thing. According to the sales page, the touch's intensity can be determined by the analog. So it's not a conductivity measurement device at all? I think I'm being misled by what this sensor is. So confused. Do you have the datasheet link there, Hacks? I tried opening one and it didn't load for me. Do you have the datasheet there? A link to it? Have a look at the datasheet. Oops. If it's conductive, then in the range of 150 and 100. If it's non-conductive, it's resting. Oh, I got it backwards. I thought we get a high. That's so weird. Okay. Then that makes sense that the plastic doesn't detect it. Okay, how about glass? Glass. Sorry, that was aggressive. Chat, who has glass? Oh, I have glass. Oh, I can't see shit now. Fuck. Glass. Oh, it is plugged in. Okay, cool. No, not working now. Wait, why is it not working anymore? Oh god, I can't see shit. I'm bursting to pee, but I really want to do this first. Oh. Ah, shit, my ID is dead. Okay, file, save as, metal touch. Sometimes it just fires out after a couple of hours. Metal to invalid. We'll start with the letter. What do you think it starts with? I just need to reboot ID. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm bursting. Oh, God. Oh, God, why do these things have to be wedged in so hard? Whew. Okay, I'll be right back. We're gonna continue coding in a bit. I'm gonna PT. PT? Yeah, maybe I'll make a cup of tea. I've been drinking lots of water. That's why I need to pee so much. So I'll make a cup of tea instead. Although, it is Saturday. Nah, it's too early for alcohol. Be right back.
A vacuum, a very thin vacuum. Conduction cannot occur because there are no particles to vibrate from one to the next. And convection cannot occur, where a particle gets heated up and travels through air. On the outside of that vacuum, we have a silver shiny surface. Basically, we're trying to get it far away from a black body as much as possible. And usually the polar opposite of it is a shiny silver surface. This usually reduces the absorption and the emission via radiation. While a liquid nitrogen dewar operates to keep liquid nitrogen super cold, the same idea works with a thermos that is trying to keep your coffee hot inside. It doesn't matter if it's a really cold thing inside or a really hot thing inside. It is basically trying to isolate whatever temperature it is that you have inside. I hope you found that educational. What do you think, Bambi?
Sound can be intense. I apologize for alarming you. I hope your ears are perked. Okay, I'll stop. Let's cover sound intensity, the decibel scale. When we study Introduction to Physics, we talk about sound being a form of energy. Specifically, we tend to measure it in terms of intensity. It's the amount of energy per second being displaced upon 1 meter squared. Hence the unit being watt per meter squared. But we want a number that is easy to reference very soft sounds, like rustling leaves in the wind. We also want it to be able to measure loud sounds, such as jet airplanes and shotguns. And so we have a logarithmic scale for human numbers, where 30-40 decibels is quiet, rustling leaves, and all the way over 150 decibels is really loud sounds, like jet airplanes, guns. The expression is beta, which is decibel, is equal to 10 log times the intensity of the sound that we're measuring over the threshold of hearing. The threshold of hearing is the minimum sound a human can hear, which is usually 10 to the minus 12 watts per meter squared. We like to use the decibel scale, especially when we're conversing normally with humans, because it's a number that means something instantly. If we're talking about intensity of sound in casual conversation, we'd be talking about units such as 10 to the minus 12, 10 to the minus 9, 10 to the minus 5, and those numbers don't mean much to people in the general public space. Although this equation seems straightforward, how would you solve it working a little bit backwards? So here's a typical problem. Imagine my classroom is operating at 75 decibels. What is the intensity of the sound in the room? 10 is just a number, it's just being multiplied on one side, so to move it to the other side, we're going to divide it. And to get rid of the log, we put everything to the power of 10. The side of the equation that has the log, it just disappears. But the side of the equation that doesn't have the log is put to the power of. In our case, that is 10 to the power of beta over 10. Rearrange the equation to find I on its own, and we have all the numbers. We have what the threshold of hearing is. We know that the decibel is 75, and 10 is just a number. Multiply them all out, and voila. The intensity of the room is 3.2 by 10 to the minus 5 watts per meter squared. As you can see, that was a mouthful of a sentence to say, and that is why we tend to not use intensity to measure sound when we're conversing in everyday language. Decibels is a little bit easier to talk about. Happy sounding.
What does the sun, Chernobyl, and a banana have in common? I know they don't walk into a bar. All of these things have radioactive properties, and I just want to talk a little bit about radioactive units. The reason I wanted to do this video is because there's so many, and I didn't realize just how many there are. The first one we're going to talk about is Becquerel. You might know him because he did win a Nobel Prize alongside Pierre and Marie Skłodowska-Curie. The unit Becquerel describes the disintegration that occurs per second. Multiply that number by 37 billion and you have the Curie. This is the conventional unit of activity. Another unit associated with radioactivity is Gray. It is described as the absorption per matter. So the unit would be joule per kilogram. This would be a very important aspect in medicine, for example. Another form of this unit is rad. You probably encountered this if you played Fallout. 1 rad is equal to 0.01 Gray. That is how the rad is defined nowadays, but back in the day it was defined slightly differently. It was defined as 100 ergs absorbed per 1 gram of matter, and ergs was just 10 to the minus 7 joules. Another unit that was used in the past a lot is the unit Röntgen. If you watched the BBC Chernobyl TV show, you would recognize that this was the standard unit that they were using. This is expressed as the unit of exposure to radiation. From 1930s onwards, it was the standard unit used to discuss radiation and radioactivity. It is defined as the electric charge freed by the radiation in 1 cubic centimeter of air divided by the mass of the air. The problem with this unit was it was only talking about the radiation that actually traveled through air, and we know that sometimes that's not the case. We're talking about human bodies, that there's direct contact as well, and all of these things need to be taken into consideration. Around that time we also had REM, a Röntgen equivalent man. This was basically associated with Röntgen, but it was talking about the effective dose. It was the value representation of how much it takes to start damaging the body.
That wasn't even a proper tune. That was just, I just don't even know what that was about. Oh, got a shiver. Cold. It is cold outside on this rainy day. Hi, Manan. Is it rainy? No, it's just kind of overcast. Not the greatest day, I suppose, but, you know, my tea looks a bit icky. Cheers. Ooh, Gurv Mila. The data shoot? Relative measure. Value negative for control. Arms. Front of the module which measures the physical extends now. According to the value of the pot and sends the signal to the analog output of the module. The third component is the comparator, which switches a digital out and LED signal falls under value. You control the sensitivity by adjusting the pot. Please note the signal will be ignored, which means that if you measure a high value, it shows a low voltage value of the analog output. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, no, that makes sense. $17.10 Ireland. Okay, let's look at this code. I'm going to boot up the IDE. Oh, wrong overlay. Here we go. I'm going to show you the IDE. I get up a bit early today. Why am I? Oh, actually, did I download No Man's Sky? The only reason I mention No Man's Sky is that I want to see if maybe I'll show you my base. My base isn't actually cool. It's very functional, but all my settlements are named after Labrats or Labrat-esque things. I just opened Steam. I'm just going to check my wish list really quickly. It seems to be is there a sale going on? Okay, so we only look at things that are at 50% sale. Only 20%. Ooh, 40% sale goes to Tsushima. Ooh, tempting, tempting. 40% Starfield. Minus 35% House Flipper 2. Oh, 50% V Rising. Okay, we have to think about that. And Alchemy Factory is 10% off, but it's an early access game, which I'm going to try and avoid. All right, let's go back to this. Sorry. Let's upload. Am I doing something wrong with the upload? Am I uploading it incorrectly? I must be uploading it to the wrong thing. Oh, for fuck's sake, I was uploading it to the whole time, chat. Why didn't you give out to me? You give out about everything else on the stream, but you didn't give out to me when I actually do something wrong? I'm very disappointed in you. Excruciatingly disappointed in you, Labrats. You let me down. Again. Again! Anyways, where was I? Okay. Sketch tools. Monitor. Then I do a plastic touch. Metal. It conducts. I want to get something that's not too conductive. Something in the middle, which we can calibrate then. You know? So glass. Oh! Oh god, I'm blind. Chat, what numbers are we seeing when I put glass down? It's like 140 or something at the lowest, right? 140, I think. And then if I put my finger on it, I think it's very obvious that there's a difference between glass and my finger, right? So this is my finger. And then I'm going to put the... Okay. We have something. We have some reading here. So I'm kind of blind. Gonna decrease sensitivity, I think. Probably really bad for... I'm probably damaging my glasses. All in the name of science is fine. Oh my god, I can't see the flathead. Ah, my god, I'm so blind. This is a terrible idea. Okay, here we go. I'm decreasing the sensitivity. Am I increasing those readings? I don't think I am. Where's the opposite? I want to increase sensitivity. Are the numbers looking like they're getting bigger? I think they are. Okay, I think it's working. I think I'm doing something. I can't see it, but I think I'm doing something. Good morning. Hi, Vesna. Welcome in. Okay. When I touch you with my hand, my finger. My finger's not conductive anymore. Really? Wait, sure I didn't pull out anything. My finger's not conductive. Let's go. Okay. And then if I put a screwdriver on it. Okay, that's not conductive anymore either. Okay, maybe I did it too much now. Okay, I feel like I pulled something out. Surely it's not that bad. Did I overdo it? Okay, there we go. Now it works. Okay. So my finger's 500, 600. Now let's put a screwdriver on top. See what happens. Oh. There we go. My finger? I'm as conductive as a metal screwdriver head? What the... Chat. Am I crazy? Am I really meant to be that conductive? I'm pretty sure we're not that conductive. It's about 500, which is the same. Tofu-based electric grid. This is just a motor now on top of it. Okay. Am I misunderstanding something about human flesh? Am I meant to be that conductive? Yeah, 1023 is like the max cap. I think the tea that you're drinking makes you more conductive. Happy Valentine's Day. Maybe you need to try another method. That is true. I always need to try new methods. I don't know. I'm pretty confused. I'm glad you're confused, because so am I. I am very confused as well, and I'm glad we're all confused. Okay, put my glasses on it. What reading do we get with glass? It's the same contact. Glass and a piece of metal and a tofu cannot be equally conductive. That just doesn't make sense. Sorry. A higher value is inverted, so you have to set it to a lower tolerance of conductivity. Yes. And I thought I said it pretty close. Like 500 should be a good measurement of conductivity. But the fact that metal, when I place a metal, it's 500 anyway. Like, I don't know. I don't get this. I don't get this at all. Do you know what? We'll try something else. We will try this website that has its own code and own circuit with a separate LED and a separate thing. Let's just... I mean, technically everything is conductive. Our skin is conductive, right? But... well, it's a touch sensor. It just registers touch. No, so there's two sensors. There's a touch sensor and there's a sensor of how conductive the touch is, as far as I understand. So there's two sensors. There's two LEDs there. So it lights up if you touch it. Now it's not working. Now it's not lighting up. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. I'm just, yeah. It's fine. Chat is fine. Then I'm going to get another wire. Bear with me. I'm going to try something. Ooh. You know, good lab practice, you're supposed to tie up your hair when you're in the lab. But if you conform to lab safety, then you don't get to do fun stuff. So do what you will with that information. I'm just going to get an LED. Ugh. So then goodness me, I'm burping non-stop. I'm so rude. Digital output. Yeah. The digital it is. So we're just going to ignore the analog now. There is no analog now. Analog is a lie. And a resistor value. What resistor value do I use? Resistor 220 ohms. I have 220. I have 220. Ugh! Ow, 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 ow. Yes, analog is here. Oh, I hit my elbow. Ouch. So then I connect a resistor in series to an LED positive port and that back to ground. And we can be cheeky with the ground connection. I can just connect that straight to the ground of the bad boy here. What is his name? Sensor. Okay. Then I'm going to copy and paste this code. There's a buzzer. Wait, what? I don't remember there being a buzzer. The heck? Where's their code? Buzzer. LED pin 7, yeah. Now it's pin 6. Buzzer. There's no buzzer. Okay, whatever. Let's just see if it works. I'm kind of losing my soul a little bit here with the metal touch. I think the metal touch might be not a thing that's going to happen first, chat. Unfortunately. It was a fun idea. Like, it would have been nice if it just says yes, no. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm being dramatic about this. I don't know. I don't think this is right at all. My ID is dying again. Sometimes this happens. Does anyone know why this happens? Where the uploading just kind of loops sometimes. I say that because obviously there could be something wrong with the code. But usually what happens for me is that I have to save, close, and just reopen the ID sometimes. And then usually it works. Okay, now it's not working. So I think I have a bad loop. The touch part works. It doesn't even actually work, Hacks, because when I put the plastic connector on it, it doesn't work. Soft robotics, medical device. What are optics when it comes to technological skin? Maybe my antivirus is getting in the way. I'm not sure. Maybe there's another website we can look at that will explain. Sorry, I'm muted. Apologies, muted. I was giving out. I was just kind of saying that if that's the case, that it was a pure touch sensor, that it's only connected, then the analog value should be representative of how conductive it is. But it doesn't. And if it's a pressure thing, I've tried applying higher and lower pressure, it doesn't change. So it's not a pressure of touch sensor. It's not a metal sensor. It's touch. Full stop. I don't know. So a touch sensor is an electronic component that is triggered when the metal part touches another conductive body, like our fingers. So it does consider our fingers conductive. Again, my issue is, why is it equally as conductive as metal? Okay, I'm gonna try another bit of code. Just to test it. Just to brainstorm it. We're just gonna, you know, trial and error. I'm gonna plug it out so you guys are gonna hear it. Ah! God damn it. Ugh. God. Why do they have to make it so tough? Like, what the hell? So the analog pin goes to A0. Standard. And then the digital pin goes to pin 8. Okay. And then second ground goes to nowhere. So it's just ground and 5 volts. Should work. Just make sure I have the ground and the positive correctly connected as well. Ground is the red wire. No. Red wire is positive. Yellow is ground. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. Then I'm going to connect this guy. So the pot does affect the analog value. It does. But what it does is it's not proportional at all. Okay, so we've connected that. Let's upload this code. Oh. Okay, cool. Let's look at the serial monitor. Oh, okay. So this code is a bit different. Display analog and digital values. Digital low, digital low, digital low. Low, digital low, digital. If the module value is higher, 13. So they want us to decrease the sensitivity or increase the sensitivity. Good morning, user. Not 5 volts, 5 and then 2.5 half the time. See, halves half the time. Okay, so then we can adjust that analog output with my finger touching it. I can decrease the sensitivity if needed. I think it's this way. Yeah, so we're decreasing the sensitivity now. It's going down, going down. Still not sure why it's going in waves and pulses. I don't understand that part. $170, $113. Well, how low do you think we can go? It says 13, but that seems really low, no? No, that's digital, right? Okay. Sorry. What is high? What is... Okay, now it's high. Where do we define what high is? Am I missing it? Little pin. Oh, it's just when the LED... Okay, that's fine. Yeah, no, I get it now. That's fine. Okay, so we've... If I put a metal screwdriver on top, still high. Yeah, what if I decrease the delay or something? Just make it not so fast. Even 500. That just calm it down a bit. It still does that high-low thing. Alright, just to explain what I'm confused about. Fine, let's define that my finger's conductive. Let's just accept that that's the truth now. Okay? I'll accept that. Why is it while I'm holding it down, the LED is lit up, the digital pin is high. Oh, interesting. So the LED is lighting up the whole time, but our digital pin is reading low. So there's something wrong with the pin read. You know what I'm saying? So I'm continuously, my finger's touching it now, okay? It's continuously touching it. So at the moment it's conductive, that's fine. And then it switches back to high. It's doing a high-low, it's doing a pulse. And I'm wondering, where is this pulse coming from? This doesn't make sense to me. What's interesting is, despite the fact that the LED on the sensor is on the whole time, I'm in touch, the digital pin is constantly switching between high and low. I've switched pins before, NRQ. We have switched the pins. Is your LED on pin 13? No, it's not. It's on pin 8. What the fuck is on pin 13? There's nothing plugged into pin 13. Oh, it's the built-in LED. No. I think it's the built-in. So there's an LED. There's a inbuilt control, I think, in the... It's an automatic setup, I think. If I remember correctly. Oh my god. It is pouring hailstone outside right now. It's almost... It's either a fault of the sensor, I think. You changed the code, but not the circuit. What do you mean? My digital pin is in pin 8. And then my analog is in A0. Is that not where it's meant to be? So pin 13 on the Arduino should be connected to the sensor pin 4. I don't think so. Because pin 4 is connected to pin 8. The digital pin, if you're talking about it. That's connected to pin 8. That's the digital output. No, I don't have another sensor. It's the only sensor I have. Sensor pin 1. That's the analog, and that's connected to A0. And I've defined that, I think. No? Let me see in my code. Yeah, analog read A0. That's the analog pin. Like how Razer has customized lighting can sometimes be connected to videos, but rather streams. So, for example, every time you get hurt, maybe your webcam flashes red. Yeah. I guess, yeah, possibly. I'm sure streamers have done that. Hmm. Hail has layers like an onion, does it? Oh, it stops suddenly. Hail is always like out of nowhere. It pours when it does. Just looking up why is it pulsing. Improper grounding is all it says. I'm just going to connect it to a different ground, for argument's sake. The other ground pin. I doubt that that's the issue, but, you know, to remove. Yeah, it's still not working. If 8 is high, write high, and set 13 to high, else write low. It's on a loop. Oh! No Man's Sky was downloading in the background. Sorry for the sound. Okay, pin 1 is digital. Pin 4 is analog. Or for your sensor. Yeah, exactly. So my digital output, my green one, is connected to 8 in the digital input. And then my A0, my A0, my analog, is connected to A0 in the Arduino. Excuse me. I'm not sure. It doesn't seem right to me. Just take my finger off it now. So weird. I just can't even comprehend why it's doing it. There's no like... Yeah, exactly, NRQ. There's some pins that read differently. Hmm. Module digital output connected to... Yeah, so it is meant to go high when it's sensing, yes. And it does visually. Visually, it does. It's working. The LED does turn on when I touch it. That is correct. But it just does this square wave, basically. And I'm not sure why it's doing that square wave. I don't see where I make it do a square wave. Just so odd. So what I'm trying to point out is that the code is working visually on my sensor board, if that makes sense. When I touch the sensor, it is high. It reads an input. It's correct. The analog pin goes low, the digital pin goes high. But suddenly it just goes back up to, oh yeah, 1023. It just goes to low for some reason. Almost like there's it stops working for, it stops working for a few lines. And I'm not sure why it does that. I don't see anywhere in the code why it would do that. And there's no flickering. There's nothing physically wrong with the LED on board the sensor. It's staying on. It's as if it's doing what I think the code is meant to be doing, but the output isn't reading it correctly. So odd. Is there a time adjustment on the module? Like a physical thing? No, not a physical. Sensitivity time-based? Doubt it. The only thing I can think of is that
One does not simply walk into mortal.
no why. Hi, Slow. Welcome in. Welcome in, Raiders.
Red alert. All hands stand to battle stations. Lay in an intercept course on the Romulan ship.
Shields up. Load all torpedo bays. Stand by phasers.
Warp factor 8. Engage.
Hello, guys. Welcome in. Welcome in. I hope Slow Stream went well. Oh, Lord. What's this? It was code. We're looking at code. Look away. What happened? Same thing. I've changed the delay value several times, Ben. Yeah. It's not the delay value, unfortunately. Hi, Silver. Hello, Savage Santos. Welcome in, welcome in. If you guys don't know Slow, Slow is a lovely human being, but also we misspelled Slow Walkthrough. I don't know who that is, but it turns out there is no channel name with Slow Walk Through without the GH. Might want to snap it up, Slow. How was your stream today? We are trying to understand why our circuit's not working as well as we would have hoped. Rebranding. Channel not found. Gotta be a favorite game. It was great. I got rejected again. Aww. I'm sorry to hear that. One day, Slow. Google AI says that the metal touch sensor is designed to output a 50 Hz wave signal on both its digital and analog pins when it detects an AC hum present in modern homes' offices upon being touched. What? Why? 3 years in a row, consistency is everything. No, I understand that, but why would we want that? Why would it do that? I'm so confused. Have fun. Take care of yourself, Jimmy. Sorry, to anyone coming in, we are trying to build a tricorder. And so we finished our first sensor of the tricorder, try in the name, And we're exploring a second one called Metal Touch, but the sensor is just... It's driving me up the walls. Quite literally. Good luck. Thanks, Andrew. I'm going to need it. Why is it detecting a hum and forcing it to be a square wave? The heck? Metal Touch, square wave. Let's look at this. Why is it making it a square wave? Why would I want it to be a square wave? I know, Buns. Oh, don't look at those wires. I have a box of wires on the ground. Although those are actually safe wires for her to eat. But is it possible that the input voltage... I doubt it, just because we've done so many things with the Arduino before. And I've worked with so many sensors before. Doubt that that's the issue. And it's not a 50 hertz wave anyway. It's just... I don't know what it is. Fine. Don't come for cuddles. I see you looking at me. You want a treat? Oh yeah, you come for a treat though. No, just a piece, just a... No, just... There we go. Little nibble. That wasn't so bad. Grab you. Have some fluff stuck on you. 2 seconds. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. Oh, will you stop? You're acting like I'm torturing you. Have fluff stuck on you. You started shedding. So, it has like these weird... Oh, girl. Look at this. This was sticking out of you. Mwah. You're acting like I'm torturing you. Okay, here you go. Here's your treat. Go eat it. It still means sus. She's still here. She's eyeing me, giving me dirty stink eye. I think there's been a bit of a heat wave. Not a heat wave, but it suddenly became a bit warmer in Ireland, so she started shedding out of nowhere quite suddenly. And you can tell she's not, like, it looks like she's black and white, but she's actually brown. Because the new baby fur coming in is really, really nice and light brown. So, before you go, I'd like to ask and suggest if No Man's Sky has ever been on your radar to play. I'm only 170 hours into it at the moment. But I'm interested to know about that. So it does seem to be that there is an AC hum. This is an actual thing. It's not AI. A lot of articles are writing about this. I'm still confused why there's a hum. I just don't get it. Yet, Remnant. It was made public 2 streams ago? 2 days ago? I've never tried it. I wonder if it's on your to playlist. It's not too story heavy. There is a story, but I wouldn't be saying that it's a story game. Not gonna be Garros. No, it's more like crafty, but there is like a, how should I say, like a moral story in there for sure. Maybe you can discuss it with your mods. I don't know how well it would do with you and your community and your kind of games. But yeah, it's a very well-known game. Can we see the serial plotter? You can. I'll show it to you. The problem was that it wasn't actually showing. So when I make a pop-up, sketch, tools, serial plotter. There we go. And what I'm going to do. Oh. Why is the serial plotter not working now? It was working earlier. My serial plotter's not working now. He's redecorating. Sorry, my serial plotter is not working now. I don't know why. It was working a second ago. It was giving me the square waves. Discuss with the mods. Yeah. No Man's Sky, I always explain how Cyberpunk is in a very similar boat with No Man's Sky. That they had an amazing redemption arc. I feel like Cyberpunk is put in there as well. Like Cyberpunk really had a great redemption arc. Maybe not as good as No Man's Sky just because of all the DLCs being added. Oh, they have a new game coming out, Light No Fire. I haven't heard about that. That's really cool. Yeah, that's the censor. We read that document as well earlier. That's the one, Ben. No, is overrated? I don't know. I love it so much. I'm really, really addicted to it and really enjoying it. It's a lovely, lovely game. And I like the story in it. Surprisingly, even though most people don't enjoy the story, when you get into it, it is quite good. I like the discussion of... I won't say much. Like, I'll leave it open-ended. It's a lovely story in that sense. Holy shit, have I been streaming this long already? Okay. What we might do is... we'll move to God of War soon, because we're running out of time. There's only so much time I have left of gaming these days. I always say science and tech is going to be shorter. Science and tech is going to be shorter. It never is shorter. I suggest you have to play Subnautica. Yes, I've played Subnautica. 1 and Below Zero, and hopefully, the new stuff gets sorted soon. In popular opinion, science and tech longer. Yeah, these days, my science and tech segment have been getting longer and longer. It was so funny because, like, when I started streaming a couple of years ago, Variety Gaming, you know, it takes about an hour to get everyone in. You know, especially when you're playing a story game, a lot of people don't want to miss stuff, and also you just kind of chat with chat. And so I wanted to do something because I was a very, very small streamer. I didn't have too many people hanging out. You need to do something. Does that make sense? It's hard to talk to the void about general things. So I thought, wouldn't it be nice to do an activity? And so that's where the whole science and tech segment started. I started actually reading scientific articles. Then we moved on to teaching, and then exploring sci-fi. Yeah, it just evolved over the years. Happy Valentine's Day. Hi, Flying Thunder God. Happy Valentine's Day. Good morning, Tofu. Hello. Happy Sunday, everyone. Happy Sunday. Hello, Ithriel, as well. Hope you guys are having a wonderful time. Slow, and everyone who got rated from Slow, you guys are more than welcome here. But just be mindful that... what should I say? Be mindful that you were watching Slow for a very long time, and she's on the other side of the world, that you might need to sleep, so make sure you get some sleep. It's only 3 a.m. Okay, then. My bedtime starts at 9 p.m. Light No Fire is going to be a co-op fantasy-based building, crafting, exploration game set in a full Earth-sized planet. That sounds exciting. I like that. Okay, I need to understand. Maybe Metal Touch is not. Oh, that's my PC in case. Maybe Metal Touch is not the other one. To anyone who came in, we did build a fully functioning, really cool sensor. So, this is the sensor right here. This is an infrared sensor, and this is an OLED screen, and it displays it on it. And so what it would display is, it'll display the ambient temperature of the room. It will display the temperature of the thing you're pointing at, and then it'll do a delta T value. So is it exothermic or endothermic, based on its ambient temperature. And the second screen then shows whether or not it is a possible life form. So we've categorized that lizard people could exist on Earth. And if the lizard people are among us, we can detect them. And you point this at a thing and it will determine its radiated temperature, and yeah, basically it will say possible life form detected or no life form detected on it. So we're basically building a tricorder. That's our first sensor. We're exploring 2 other sensors. We thought that we could do a Metal Touch, but I don't know. There's something weird going on with it and it's annoying me. I'm losing my mind. So we might look at other sensors. If we don't own the sensor, we might buy it online. It's something that we could explore maybe tomorrow, chat. What's a good... Maybe I get a conductivity device still, just a better sensor. "9 p.m. is coffee time, jeez. That's crazy. So wait, like detect the heat on the metal? No, so this is a separate sensor, no heat. It'll just touch a material, and if it's a metal, it will say that it is not a life form. If it's plastic, so here's my idea, right? I had assumed that it would be flesh, so you would touch this thing, and then I would have done a bunch of calibration experiments where I would know that if it was super, super conductive like metal, it's not organic. And then if it's like plastic or glass where it's not conductive at all, it's not organic either. So I was going to calibrate to a range of values and say, it's kind of conductive. This might be a life form. But the sensor's just a piece of fucking shit. Sorry for swearing. It's just so... Maybe it's not shit. Maybe I'm the piece of shit, to be honest. That actually explains a lot. But I don't know how long we spent on it. An hour and a half? Maybe longer? I've lost my will to live after looking at that sensor. We might explore we might still do a Metal Touch. Maybe not a Metal Touch. A conductivity sensor. Because I do have a water level sensor, which is just a conductivity sensor as well. There's other problems with the Ben other than that square wave. We have some serious issues with the conductivity measurements. How would that work against a silicon-based life form? We're going to assume that silicon-based life forms do not exist only because of the general discussion. So we've discussed, it's been discussed by scientists a lot in the past few years, or decades, we'll say. But in the last decade or so, correct me on this, but I don't think it's actually supported that a silicon-based life form could exist. It was explored originally, it was really, really creative, but then a few flaws were pointed out. A couple. What do you think, Buns? You okay? What are you doing over there? Anyone who appreciates the joke, it's a bamboo box for the 3D printer. Bambi in a bamboo box. It just shows resistivity, not changing conductivity. So it's just a classic resistivity multimeter. Andrew, you're having a tough day today typing. Okay, I'm gonna go take a drink break. It is Saturday, it's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to anyone and everyone who is celebrating it. I'm gonna make myself a beverage. Instead of Arduino, you could use a Raspberry Pi. Yeah, but I kind of like the Arduino, so I'm gonna stick with it for now on RQ, if that makes sense. I'm gonna sleep. Good night, Slow. Thank you so much for sending your community over here. We really appreciate it. Yeah, Ding Dong, I'm starting to think that you might be right, that this is not the sensor. So we might Google some conductivity sensors online. If there even such a thing exists, it might be too expensive. Of course, of course. If anyone wants to stay behind, we'll be playing some Kratos. To the YouTube peeps. I was going to stop stream here for YouTube because this is not science and tech anymore. But if you guys want to see Kratos and stuff, make sure to come over onto Twitch because I'll continue doing that there. But otherwise, I'm going to stop stream. I'm using a really cool multi-stream thing where I can shut off YouTube immediately. Oh, Jesus, Benjamin. Dad of Boy, exactly. We're playing Dad of Boy. Oh my god, what is with the low IQ in the chat today? What the fuck? Oh, chat, what is going on? I'd like to highlight that those were all raiders from Slow's community. Oh no, never mind, for Zerp. Why'd you do that? Okay, never mind. Slow's community and Tofu's community are clearly not the brightest bulbs around. Hey, there you go, Slow. Smarter than a tofu. Slow, the smartest of us all. Okay, I'm gonna say goodbye to YouTube because we're gonna play video games now. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.